Okay, so we're here and we're going to talk about elections, which are
Okay.
coming up, and
Sure.
specifically in your city,
They are.
Ferris. What positions are open, or what are they called? Aldermen, or what?
They are aldermen. I mean, they're
Okay.
really councilman
Okay.
positions.
All right.
We do call them aldermen just because we're a general law city. That's the
Okay.
difference. If we go to home rule, they become council members. But,
Okay.
we have 2 alderman spots open, and the mayor's spot is actually open. So our mayor resigned, and our mayor pro tem, Tommy Scott, has been filling in but did not officially move into the mayor's role. So
Okay.
the mayor is open, and 2 of the aldermen are open.
And
they're
which alderman?
currently occupied by Clayton Hunter and Jay Walsh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So 2 longtime aldermen that are up for a re-election or election, and then I believe we've had somebody file for the mayor already,
Okay.
and 1 alderman position has
Can
been
you say
filed
who those?
for. Sure, I don't mind. Michael Masick has filed for mayor,
Okay.
and
all
I
right.
believe Frank Hall has filed for an alderman position that currently is occupied by Jay Walsh.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. All right. And so let's talk about your take on, because you've been a city manager in other cities besides just in
Yeah.
Ferris. Where
Yeah.
did you come from, actually?
I came actually from a school district. I was a chief quality officer for a school district, so I was
Okay.
responsible for bringing everybody to a place that they could perform well and putting performance metrics in place. And then I've done work in Roy City also.
Okay.
So
All right. So tell me about the importance from a small town look at getting these people into the positions to make the city successful, because I think a lot of small towns have some issues with this.
they do have issues, and I think the number one thing is just apathy, right? People get used to, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to come home, I'm going to stay at home and not do much else, and they don't understand that there's a lot that goes on in their city that impacts their day-to-day life. We all focus on presidential elections and the larger ones, but
Right.
the ones that really impact us are our local elections.
Absolutely.
And we're not involved in that. And so I think it's important, and I talked to a chamber group about this today, to understand what it is that a council person or an alderman is supposed to really do.
Sure.
We
sure.
like to think that they are all powerful wizards, that we can elect one of them and they go in there and they're going to change the entire
Change the world,
dynamic.
yeah.
And that's just not the case. They're a group. They got to work together. We've been talking a lot about being a team over the last 3 months, and they really need to look for somebody that's going to be able to go in and build consensus. Can they work with other people, or is all they're going to do is tick people off when they get there? If that's the case, you're probably not voting for the right person. So somebody that can build a consensus, and then the major power that councilmen, aldermen have is the budget.
Okay.
We
Right.
forget that in city government. They don't hire and fire people except for me. They don't go in and run things day to day.
Right.
Their job is the budget. That's how they set the direction of the city. So
Right.
somebody that can understand a budget, what that budget means, and then after that, they're really going through the motions of approving resolutions or ordinances, but
Okay.
the budget is the big thing. That is where they tell us what our work is going to look like. And
Okay.
again, it's a team effort.
Right, exactly. And your mayor in Ferris, is he allowed to vote, or only if there's a
Only if there's a
tie?
tie does the
Okay,
mayor
all
vote.
right.
So his job really, and Mayor Pro Tem Scott has done a great job of that, is to listen to both sides and try to find some middle ground,
Okay.
or to open the eyes of others so that they can see what people are talking about. It's a consensus builder.
Okay, and the elections are May 3rd, is that
They're
correct?
May, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And let me see so people, if they have not registered to vote yet, have another couple of months before, and if you haven't registered to vote, go register
Go
to vote.
register to
That's
vote.
very
That's right.
important. But, so I think that they have a couple of months until, like,
They
April.
they do have, I believe, until April
Okay.
to register. And that is, I'm going to go back to that. We see on average about 300 people voting.
Yeah.
It's
really sad.
It is. People need to get out there and vote. And again, I think they think, it doesn't impact me, but I promise you it does. Look at your tax bills from the school and the city side. What we do impacts you day in and day out.
And one thing this year, too, is that there's no more straight ticket voting, and I believe that we were one of the only 7 states that were still able to do that.
Straight ticket voting was, something still unique to Texas.
There are some
and I
other
commend
states, though,
Governor
right?
Abbott.
Yeah.
There are.
Okay.
I commend the governor's push to get rid of that. I think it's a good thing.
My father used to just tell me to go in and vote straight Republican.
I was told the exact same thing.
Right,
But the
it's a
reality
big-
is you're voting for people you don't even know and you don't
Right.
understand who they are, and it's not always.
And a lot of people are voting on, like, somebody's last name. Like, I was at a judicial committee meeting last week with State Representative Sherman, and they were talking about the judges, because things are get really topsy-turvy. There was some crazy numbers just because, like, maybe somebody didn't want to vote for somebody with the last name Martinez.
Mhm.
Like, they want to vote for a a woman who is a white woman, that maybe my name's Rita Martinez and they don't vote for me. They don't even know who I am.
No clue who you are.
So this is the kind of thing that I think is really a problem in smaller towns. Just, of course you know who the president is and
Sure.
maybe your senator or congressman, but as you start going down, you're really affecting change when you vote for somebody that you don't know who they are,
You are.
and you're looking at their name.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think again, I'm glad that we've changed from straight ticket. I called it the Beto effect, right? That's really
Right.
what did it. Was
Yeah.
the state looking at it and going, "Wow, people really like Beto," so they went in and just voted straight ticket Democrat, and we saw a lot of people lose positions that we didn't anticipate would.
Yes.
And then you're right. People go in. I always tell them, if you get to something that you don't know who they are or what they're about, don't vote on it.
Right.
Move
exactly.
on,
That's
or
a
at least
good point.
educate yourself before you go to know what you're voting on. But
Right.
just blindly voting is a dangerous thing to do.
Very
too.
dangerous, and it's happening here in Texas, and we're seeing that
Too
that is
much.
a problem.
It is.
So,
It is. And I encourage people to, especially in these small town elections, go to the person and talk to them. Figure
Yes.
out what they're about, and you ask them questions, but be informed about what they do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll see in city elections, right? They'll go to somebody and say, "Well, what's your stance on abortion?" Well, the last time I checked, there's not a city councilman in the world that can affect the national stance or state law on abortion. So what
Right.
the heck are we asking them that
Right,
for,
right.
right? Ask them about the city budget, infrastructure. What are their thoughts, and how are they going to work together as a team?
right. I think out here that it's roads, law enforcement, just the same things that everybody has issues with, and it's just on a smaller scale, and that's where you can affect change. Even your animal control was a big deal.
It's all through the budget,
Yeah.
right? If you want animal control to be a priority, put it in the budget, and that tells me as the city manager, animal control is a priority for
Right.
the city now moving forward.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, do you have anything else to say to the viewers about the importance of voting and just your, what you think about it?
Get out and vote. Register to vote if you have not, and inform yourself on what's going on in the city. A lot of great things are happening here, and I would encourage you to talk to your current council members about that, and then those that are running as well, and get their thoughts.
And pay attention to the fact that there's county commissioners that are up that will affect this area, and judges and constables. So just pay attention.
Absolutely.
So, and
Absolutely.
I hate it when I see that somebody's running with I need challengers too. That's always interesting to me.
That either happens because things are going incredibly well and people don't want to see anything disrupted, or it's we go back to that apathy. They just
Yeah.
think nothing's going to change.
That's the main thing.
Why challenge it?
And I think it has to do with social media, but that's another show. All right. So I'm Rita Cook,
I'm Brooks Williams.
and thank you for joining us on Politics and How It Affects You.